I think using like public resources that are supposed to protect the people against the people is completely wrong.
An insane abuse of power.
So what do the protesters want? Well, first they want Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha to resign. He led the 2014 coup, then rewrote the constitution, extending the powers of the military and the monarchy. The second demand is therefore for a new constitution. And the third is for reform of the monarchy.
I knew there was a situation, but it wasn't incredibly publicised in Australian news. Like, I knew there was a thing going on in Thailand. I thought there was protests, but there's been a lot of protests this year, so it's hard to like
I think I've
pay attention to everything.
Kind of seen stuff on Twitter and then like only like for a fleeting moment, and then I think it might have been like drowned out by, as Connor said, like there's been so many protests this year.
There hasn't generally been much coverage, I think.
No, we don't hear a lot about it at all here. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't like. I knew it was like a monarchy, and I didn't really know about like the demonstrations or anything, I guess.
No,
Not
they
a
haven't
thing.
mentioned anything.
Not a thing.
Not at all.
No.
Nothing?
No, there's nothing really around about it. No one really knows what the full extent of what's happening, I guess. Yeah, that was only the first thing I've ever seen online about it.
Yeah.
I've heard you've spoken to me about it, and that's really all that I've really gotten information from is you.
So if I didn't like tell you about it, you wouldn't like know anything?
No, I would not.
People would fight for democracy. I mean, hard, and I'm shocked that it's taken this young generation of people to do it in Thailand specifically. People would fight for it. I think, like democracy is beautiful. I'd fight for it.
I think like because it's not the same here, it's hard for us to imagine. But like what Connor said, I think definitely like the people like here would fight for it as well.
Horrible.
Yeah.
No one should have to go through that.
I think they should have more freedom and in saying what, like you should be able to speak your mind and say what you feel without fear of like repercussions or consequences or punishments.
You shouldn't have to protest anything.
Yeah.
We have the freedom to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't imagine how hard it must be to like miss out on like their studies over there and do these protests like while risking their own kind of safety.
I think because it's not broadcasted, there's not a lot of information around, so we don't know the full extent of what is happening. But from what you guys have said, I feel that there should be some change put in place.
Yeah, I think people should have like the option to have like personal freedom and not be like told what to do or like what not to say by the government or like leadership, I guess.
People shouldn't have to feel oppressed within their own society.
There is a recent protest, probably like a week or 2 ago. It was like really harsh this time because there was police everywhere and stuff. They have like barriers and they have like the fire truck and they like use the hose to like shoot out like people.
That sounds terrifying. Like
the water pressure is like really high, right?
I think using like public resources that are supposed to protect the people against the people is completely wrong.
An insane abuse of power.
Yeah.
They're meant to protect people. Like and then instead they're being used against the people. The very people that they're meant to protect, which is just terrifying. And it's just a total infraction of
we've seen a lot of that this year.
Stuff.
We've seen a lot of that this year, and it kind of shows what the type of people are out in the world, which is just it's kind of a scary thing to be growing up in. think
they could
because the
close channel
protests
down.
are like mostly young people led, I think that's probably why there isn't as much exposure to the Western world. Like, in saying that, social media is a big impact on protests and stuff, but
Yeah.
because the older generation aren't a part of it, it's not being broadcast on the
Yeah.
platforms that it really needs to be broadcasted on, like news outlets and things like that.
Yeah.
And older generations think that protesting isn't gonna get us anywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel there would be a lot of people who would come out and say stuff because before there was, if it did happen here, there would have been a lot more freedom and people would find it probably injustice.
Yeah, I think people are like really like comfortable about like expressing like if like a politician does something wrong, I think people are likely to like get angry about it and talk about it. Like you see that all the time in like the news and stuff.
Yeah, and is it politicals?
It's not for students or kids or like
Yeah, our generation's like really
They're
underestimated
really
in that
seen,
sense.
they're really seen as like children who are uneducated and uninformed, when in reality we're probably the most information powered kind of generation. Yeah.
It affects everyone's lives. If you're privileged enough to the point that you're not affected by politics, then you should go out of your way to defend the people that it does affect.
Yeah. Definitely. Use your power for good. Like if you have that privilege, then use it to help others that don't, that are less fortunate.
It's your responsibility.
Yeah.
I think everyone who it affects should be involved.
Yeah, I think like everyone has the right to share their opinions. I don't think it should matter how old you are or like how much experience you have. I think everyone has the right to like share their opinion.
Keep fighting.
It's the responsibility right now of young people to convince the older generation, and that's difficult. That's insanely difficult.
Yeah.
It is so hard to convince someone, particularly as they get older. Like, opinions just solidify over time, and the world just seems like the way that it'll be forever. But it takes a lot of energy and effort, but it is worth it for the change that you'll see after.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep fighting, but still take care of yourself.
Yeah, take care of yourself, guys. Keep fighting, and the change at the end will be worth what you've had to go through.